Richmond International Raceway, this D-shaped three-quarter-mile short track that has shown us such action in the past and will again tonight. Here's the Chevy starting grid. Casey Kane, Ryan Newman, the front row in Dodges. Tony Stewart's the first Chevy in the race. He starts third alongside Kurt Busch. Let's go down to that starting grid and join Matt Yoakum.
Mike, a lot of eyes will be back a little deeper in the grid. Dale Earnhardt Jr. starts 27 tonight. 1-2 night race, short track races last year, looking for a win this year. Now, keep one thing in mind, points-wise, the last 6 races, he's gone from 27 tonight to 9th. Could be a big points race for him tonight, especially if you look at past history. Over the last 2.5 years, he has averaged per short track race more points than any other driver. 2 wins in the last 2.5 years, and he's got a lot of success right here on this three-quarter-mile bull ring. He expects more tonight. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. The lady who gave the Pledge of Allegiance lost her daughter, PFC Leslie Jackson, a year ago, in giving her life for her country. So nice to have her here tonight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Ed Pieper, Chevrolet General Manager, as he delivers those most famous words in motorsports. Are you ready for an American Revolution? Gentlemen, start your engines!
Set to go racing short track Saturday night. Let's join the executive editor of Speedway Illustrated, Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Mike. 25-year-old Casey Kane, right behind me here, has never won an Nextel Cup race. He's had fast cars, winning 6 poles, including the pole for tonight's race. And he's come close. 6 times he's finished second, sometimes by as little as 1.5 inches to the guy that eventually won the race. He's won in midgets, Silver Crown cars. He's won in sprint cars, Busch Series cars, even in the Craftsman Truck Series. He has a very fast car in race trim, and tonight he hopes to become a winner in the Nextel Cup Series for the very first time.
Thanks, Dick. Getting set to go here at Richmond, when there'll be a lot of people tonight wondering who spun me around. The pace laps begin. The flash bulbs explode all around this three-quarter mile as dusk descends. It was a hot day today. Air temperatures in the 90s. The track temperature reflects that. But there is rain moving into the area. There's a big storm system off to the west. It's headed this way, and we hope not too soon. So we've moved the start of this race up a few minutes as a precaution. Let's go down to the pit of last week's winner with Steve Burns.
Yeah, Mike, I'm just kind of catching up on some last-second reading. You see Greg Biffle's on the front of the USA Today sports page. After 10 races a year ago, he was 23rd in points. Now, after 10 races in 2005, he is 3rd, coming off his 3rd win of the 2005 Nextel Cup season. He's also trying to become the 3rd driver in consecutive years to win the Nextel Cup championship for Jack Roush, and the first driver to win 3 championships at all 3 of NASCAR's premier divisions, NASCAR Craftsman Trucks, the Busch Series, and now the Nextel Cup.
Thanks, Steve. Darrell Waltrip joins us up top to call tonight's race. We may all disagree of what to do on the final pit stop, but I think we all agree on how to get to the final pit stop based on what we saw last night. You got to stay out in front of all this, and the way Turn 2 raced last night, that's not going to be easy.
No, and nobody's really got a handle on this joint lately. You know, we've had 7 different winners in the last 7 races here, so it's been kind of hit and miss for a lot of these teams, but that is one thing we know. Strategy, tire strategy at the end of the race, like we saw last week, will have an effect on the outcome of this race.
So, Larry, pit strategy, being off sequence, will that keep you out front?
Yes, it will, and there's no question. When you base it on last night and races here in the past, out front is the place to be. But even though it's cooling down, it's nighttime, this racetrack is much hotter than it was yesterday. I think we're going to have some ill-handling cars that need some early race adjustments.
Ill-handling cars, ill-handling tempers. Ooh.
Oh, not that again. All right, back down for to the check-in desk at the Hollywood Hotel.
Thanks, Mike. Our last driver to win a Cup race in a backup car was Greg Biffle. Ryan Newman on the front row is in a backup car.
Yeah, he's in a backup car, but we've already seen early this year that Greg Biffle won in Texas in a backup car. So these guys have got a really good race car. They got it up front because they did all the repairs necessary to get that backup car ready to go, introduced it before qualifying, and NASCAR says everything's okay, boys, so he's able to stay up on the front row.
Last pole sitter to win here, Bill Elliott 92, Casey Kane on the pole trying to win his first race. Mike?
Look at this crowd, Chris, as we have a look at the Nextel Cup Series points. Jimmy Johnson on top of his Hendrick teammate Jeff Gordon. Greg Biffle climbs to third. Kurt Busch drops to fourth this week. Elliott Sadler, it's his home track. And there is the cutoff point, Jeremy Mayfield. If the chase ended today, as it will in September here at Richmond, or the race to the chase, Mayfield would be the last in within that magic 400-point gap to the leader. Now let's have a look at the 390 horsepower Chevy SSR pace vehicle. Looking back at Casey Kane and Ryan Newman.
And we hope it's not as busy as it was last night.
Right. Look at this crowd. 27th consecutive sellout at Richmond International Raceway.
There you see pit road speed 40 miles per hour. That fuel pit window 110 to 120 laps could always be a factor. DW, it's Saturday night. That's all right for fighting. Reach up there, pull those belts tight one more time.
Yeah, baby. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Turn 2, the trouble spot last night. Advantage, Casey Kane. Here comes Stewart on the inside for second, and Kurt Busch on the bottom. Stewart for the lead on lap 1. Doesn't get it.
Casey Kane will get those 5 points early.
I think you'll see good action, good side-by-side racing in 3 and 4. They're going to have to really be careful in turns 1 and 2 for a while. And as you can see, coming off turn 4 or 2 over there now, Elliott Sadler got up high, and he's bottlenecked up that whole crowd.
He was almost above that second groove, and he almost had to just stop the car.
And then you pick up all that little bit of dirt and debris on your tires. It takes a lap or so to get it burned back off.
3 wide in the corner. Sadler outside of Jeff Burton and the 19 of Mayfield.
And he will get freight trained, Mike. He may end up back in 40th place before he can actually get his car back under control and get in line. And you're looking at the car there, the 38 car that's had the most success on the other 2 short track races this year. He's accumulated the most points.
He started up in the 5th position. Now in just 3 laps, he's back to 16th.
Look at him, Larry. I mean, he just got nowhere to go. I mean, it's all just like he got a flat tire.
And he came in here with so much confidence after that second place run last night in the Busch race.
But where did he lose that race? Turn 2. Carl Edwards got into it, and Sadler could have been a little gun shy there at turn 2, but I doubt it. He's a racer and he wants to win here. Worst of all, it's his home track.
Well, maybe he's trying to clean that groove off early tonight so that won't happen again.
Kevin Harvick on the move, moves up to 5th, staring down Ryan Newman, who started second.
Kevin, just getting a good
Well, I think you can see already, Mike, how everybody's tried to get into single file here and not do any real serious side-by-side racing at this point.
6th place, Ricky Rudd, for whom this is also his home racetrack. Trying to hold off Rusty Wallace.
And you heard Richard Childress. He was talking to Kevin Harvick there on the radio. Get in your rhythm, and that's what you're trying to do right now. Just get in your rhythm, start hitting your marks. Let's get some laps behind us.
And this is a rhythm racetrack.
Our points leader, Jimmy Johnson, back at 24th position. And the number 48, the Lowe's Chevy. Heavy traffic just ahead.
And there you see Elliott Sadler, though, right in front of him, the 38 car. You can just tell, Darrell, even right now he's trapped on the outside, but I was watching him earlier. He cannot turn that car to the bottom of the racetrack.
No, he's just he's stuck out there, and right now he says, okay, I'm stuck out here. I'm going to make the best of it and wait for something to happen. Hope it doesn't happen to me.
Most of the 3 wide here. Johnson on the outside of, that's Dave Blaney in the middle, and wisely Mike Bliss gets on the brake. And that allows Sterling Marlin, that's silver number 40, to close in. Biffle, Rusty, an inch apart.
Battle for 7th position.
Wallace trying to make the outside work here off turn 2.
As long as that guy on the inside will take care of you and not get into you, you can manage that okay. But boy, I tell you, you got to be careful.
I've been watching the car right behind them. Johnny Sauter in the 09 car had a great qualifying run. Started in 13th. Great run in the Busch race last night. I think he's a little quicker than those guys. But right now they have him boxed in.
Well, that's I don't know if that's the same car they had at Phoenix or not, but he had a top 10 finish at Phoenix in that car and was the best Dodge all night long.
Yes, he was.
Most of the cautions in last night's Busch race were a case of either somebody getting under a car in turn 2 and slipping up into him, or getting too wide down into turn 3 and the outside car squeezing down. And just cases of 2 race cars, not enough space.
And that would also, you could define that as no give and take.
I tell you what, Larry, we watched Tony Stewart in practice and qualifying. It's one of his best qualifying runs since I think I read Kansas City in 03. And he's up here leading the race tonight. He loves this racetrack. He's won here in everything just about he's driven here. Trucks, Busch cars, and Cup. I even ran out. Did he not run an IRL car here?
Yeah, he got his very first career win here in 1999. He did it by leading over 3/4 of the race.
Tony Stewart has led 12 of 13 laps in Richmond.